And welcome. Today we bring you two of our GRSP alumni. They may have some questions, or they may answer some questions on behalf of our the people who reach out to us. So I would like to welcome Dr. Priyal Mehta and Dr. Smitesh Padte, and I'll let them introduce by themselves. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you, Dr. Kashyap.
Yes, thank you, Dr.
Hi, my
Kashyap.
name is Dr. Priyal Mehta. I am a GRRSP's alumni. I was going to say scholar, but now I'm an alumni. Uh, I recently gave my step two. I got ECFMG certified, and at the time of the video, we are applying for March 2024 cycle, and we have learned a lot. We more to come.
Thank you, Smitesh.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Dr. Smitesh Padte from Mumbai, India. I am a GRRSP Batch 6 scholar. And yes, we are here to answer some questions and make Dr. Kashyap, who is our mentor in GRRSP, answer most of them. It's great to be here. I'm really looking forward to this video.
Fantastic. All right, go ahead. Let's ask the questions what people are asking you and others and see if we can answer those questions in this one video. I'm just kidding. If we have to record more, we can do it, but let's see if we can answer some of the questions today.
All right, if I can take the lead, Dr. Kashyap, I'm going to ask you the first and the foremost questions for our viewers out there. What is GRRSP and how is it different than all the other remote research programs that are cropped up all over LinkedIn, all over the internet? What makes you different? And what is your main philosophy for GRRSP?
Well, this you can answer this question now as well, but let me answer it. So GRSP is a global remote research scholars program, which is exactly what it means. It's a program for anybody, a medical student, a resident, a fellow, a faculty member, a pre-med student, nursing students, pharmacy, dental students, anybody who is in healthcare field who want to learn research remotely, no matter where they are. This is a structured program for 6 months. I would say there are roughly 20 plus sessions in 26 weeks. There are some gap weeks where we ask them to work on different things, but it's a structured program not only to teach the basics of clinical research, but also helping them work on their own projects and collaborate within the team members so they can publish not only one paper, but more than one articles, as both of you have done beautifully.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kashyap. We know what makes GRRSP different from others, but over the course of this video, we will learn why should we select GRRSP. So if I can ask the next question, so we know that you go through a careful selection process for selecting the scholars for each batch. You ask them to submit your CV and then you select them. So one of the questions that we received was, what specific aspects of CV do you look for when you are selecting someone for your batch?
Absolutely. Well, I didn't answer the previous question about how this program is different, so I will also incorporate that in this answer. Your question is what we look into people's CV. Number one is, do they have a CV? If somebody's taking 3, 4, 5, 7 days to send us the CV back, that means they didn't have a CV and they end up writing something. Second is how it is formatted, and I'm talking about very minor points. If CV is formatted with different font sizes, different colors, is not properly done as well, that kind of tells me that this person may be not that organized or they're not too serious about what they want to do it as well. So this is something non-knowledge part of it, just the formatting and time they take it as well. CV is a good idea for us to check them that if what stage of journey they are in, from where they are. CV usually have people's email ID and phone numbers if you need to have a call and add them to WhatsApp. It is a one-stop shop to establish a connection with somebody who might be interested in joining soon or just want to explore the opportunities. Then definitely what we look into is, their medical school background, what they have done so far, community work and things like that, but what they have done in terms of academics, curriculum, and any research experience. So CV gives all this information in a small 2, 3, 4 pages long as well. And then there are some mutual interest. Sometimes people end up writing the things which our faculty member might be interested, which we can socialize on. Let's say chess, they play badminton, they do classical music, poetry, writing, public speaking. So CV is your introduction to the world as a medical student, as a resident, as a dental student, as a nursing student, that what you have done so far and which direction we are going in. So it's a fantastic way for us to screening and then going forward. We don't worry about if CV is 7 pages long, 10 pages long, or 2 pages long. As far as they have honest and up-to-date information, that CV is good enough for us.
That's an amazing answer, Dr. Kashyap. Moving on to the next question. This actually sends me back because I remember asking this question before I joined GRSP, I think half a year before. So you mentioned that this is a 6-month long program with 20 plus lecture, including lectures from esteemed guest faculties who are already in US right now, so that they'll help us mentor better. And I remember asking the same question to you is how many hours per week will be required to commit to this course? Because most of the students, most of the IMGs are going to be preparing for their steps. They will be going to be preparing, they will have their clinical coursework, they will have their jobs. So I remember asking this question to you. How many hours of commitment per week does this GRRSP coursework require?
So let me answer it this way, that we tell people that if you can spend 8 to 10 hours a week, in addition to the lecture we have every Sunday or whatever designated day we have it, that's good enough for them to progress on their own project and help out others as well. But in reality, the more hard work you do, the more output you are going to get out of it. Question of about their journey in USMLE, we can discuss that at length, but I'll throw it back that how much time you guys spent. You were one of the most productive scholars in each of your batches from 2 different batches as well. So my question to back to you and Priyal is, what was your optimum time frame to spend on in addition to what you were doing, and then how did you cope up with the exam time if you had a different stages, like one was taking one done already step 2, one was taking the step 2, and things like that. So question to you first, Smitesh, and then Priyal, maybe briefly you want to tell about what was your time commitment.
Yes. So for me, as you mentioned, I had my step 2 exams due. And at the same time, I was I was preparing for my step 2 exams and I was attending the GRSP lectures and coursework. Uh, Dr. Kashyap, in your first, I think, lecture, you mentioned one very important thing which I'd like to reiterate to our viewers over here is that if you spend the coursework, the lectures are normally on Sunday, right? So if you spend 8 hours on Saturday trying to prepare for the course, it is not going to work out. What my advice is, and what helped for me, what helped me publish so many papers is putting in, even if it's half an hour or 1 hour every day, consistently throughout the week, is actually what helped me get through the line. Because in the end, the load becomes way too much handling so many different projects. So the only way to get through this successfully is to manage your time and just give small amounts of dedicated time every single day in your research thing. So that is the only thing I feel is going to help you get through the line for this. What about you, Priyal?
Very well said, Smitesh. I believe that, and this is the honest thing, that it depends on what stage of the program you are in. If you are initially, when you're deciding on a topic and everything, I think it requires lesser time commitment than what you will require at later stages of the course. Because in the later stages of the course, you're not only doing the data extraction and analysis of your own project, you're also doing the analysis, extraction, helping out your friends and everything. So as the course progresses, I think the time commitment increases, which is fair because then the work also increases. But I would still say that if we take out an average, I think 8 to 10 hours a week was minimum. I would say minimum to publish 1 2 papers at least. After that, the more projects you take on, the more commitment you have to give.
Excellent point. This is a good pivot to just talk about what stage in exams you are. We advise people that medical students who join in, residents who join in, fellows who join in, people who are applying for IMG, international medical graduate as for IRAS application, so on and so forth. My personal advice is that please join this or any other program with at least you've done at least one step, a step 1 for if you're going into USMLE route. That means you have shown your commitment. You could do it after your second year of medical school. You can do in your third year, fifth, fourth year, or during internship. It doesn't matter. At least once you have done your step 1, then we recommend you to join the program. or this is not part of your plan, and you know that there's no university exam coming up in next 6 months, you'll not be preparing for it for next 6 months, then it's a good time for you to join as well. So there's no limit for you not to join if you've not taken the exam. But I hate to tell you that if you're taking exam, which is step one, step two, step three, whatever it is, in next 3 4 months, then it's probably not a good time for you to join. I'd rather have you done that part and then join the next batch, because you want to learn something which you have not done before and commit yourself completely to the learning, the lectures, doing. Because the uniqueness, another uniqueness of this program is that this program makes you do things, which that's where you're gonna learn. So it's an experiential learning process. You see one when we teach you, then you do one, and then you help your colleagues in the same batch or maybe subsequent batches by teaching them how to do it. So see one, do one, teach one technique. Experiential learning is the cornerstone of a GRRSP.
That is true, Dr. Kashyap. We would say that after step one, again the grasping of the concepts becomes a bit easier, I would say, opposed to when you don't know what basic terminologies and basic formula and everything is. But you do learn everything. There are lectures on each and every basic topic from the scratch, from writing the manuscript to knowing what kind of articles or everything you want to publish. You teach everything, that is fair, but having step one gives you an added advantage, is what I would say. So Dr. Kashyap, can I go to the next question? um, so one of the most common questions people ask is, what is the fee structure and if there are any scholarships available for our students all around the world?
Absolutely. Important question about the fee in this regard. Definitely, there's a fee. Any quality program, there is a tuition fee, and then we are no exception to that program in this regard. But the value you'll pay, value you will get out of paying the fee is very very high. The fee is definitely lower than what you'll be spending on step one, step two exam combined. Fee is definitely way lower than what you'll be spending on your observership and flight tickets and things like that as well, especially understanding that you get to do it for 6 months and then you become part of a GRSP family, GRSP alumni, and that is itself is a well connected and network oriented organization. There are some opportunities to apply for scholarship. Those are case by case basis based on your CV. What you have done, what passion you bring in. If you have honors in a couple of subjects in your medical school and things like that, we have given almost every batch, we have given enough scholarships to people in this regard, and then you can just submit an application once you get accepted to seek out some scholarship. It'll not be completely free, but we have been very generous in giving scholarships to those who need it, and then they have a good track record in academics and research.
That is fair, I think, Dr. Kashyap. We generally forget that it's as opposed to actually attending a research fellowship in US and how expensive that is. This is very, very budget friendly, I would say. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like if you come to do a research fellowship program or research training program, most of them you pay some fee and then you are not getting paid. So it can cost you somewhere from 20,000, 22 to $20,000 a year to do it in this regard. And this is a fraction of that you get to work with within the next 6 months. And then same quality and maybe a higher quality of the work will get out of it because you are at the comfort of your home. Or if you're doing a day job or you're going to medical school, you don't need to leave your current curriculum. So that is another advantage of doing it, that you don't need to leave your current environment to be equally productive and get exposed to high quality, high paced and meaningful research.
Dr. Kashyap, last thing I would like to add here is that when you are paying for GRRSP, you're not just paying to publish papers. You're paying for something more. You're paying to network with a bunch of colleagues, bunch of like-minded colleagues who are going to be in your network forever. You're paying to have mentors like you, and you're paying to get connected with international scholars, esteemed lecturers in US who are definitely gonna help you in your journey for USMLE. This is the part that now maybe someone from the outside cannot see. Us as GRRSP who have been through this, we understand the value of networking as in the USMLE journey. We understand that this is not a single track thing. This is a multifaceted program. And the more we get out of it, the more we can take out of it, the more comes out of it. That is something that I would like to really highlight to the viewers right here.
Well said.
But yes, in the same tone, in the same pathway, I'll go on to my next question. Something everyone asked me, like multiple people, dozens of people asking me over the internet, over LinkedIn, is how many papers can you co-author in this 6 months time? It's the question that comes to the mind first. People are wary of it. Dr. Kashyap, your thoughts on it?
I laugh at this question because it gets asked all the time as well. And those somebody who know, who has done these things, you will start smiling at this question as well, because then you realize then it's a good question for a novice person, but it's absolutely not a good question for somebody who has gone through the process. And the reason it is that we have said it multiple times in this interview as well, that it is something what you put in, you'll get out. So how many papers is quantifying research output is very, very hard. We tell everybody that you will get to work on your own project. You'll come up with an idea with our help. We'll go through as well. And that project can have multiple abstracts and multiple papers. That project can have only just paper one abstract. But if you are collaborative and you have paid attention to the time commitment and done the right things, what need to be done as well, I see no issues you being co-author and authoring 4 to 5 papers. Many of you have done, both of you have done more than that in this regard. And I'll ask you to share your output, if very briefly. And then one of our highest scholar has done 9. He or she was involved in multiple abstracts, multiple papers, and that was outcome in first 6 months. And then continue to have it as of today. They were done, 3 or 4 batches ago. So my question to you is, what has been your output, types of papers, without going into numbers and details, but what different types of projects you've been involved, if you don't mind, Smitesh and then Priyal?
Yes. So even I smiled at the very same question when everyone asked me how many papers did you co-author. So you obviously start with your own first. In the first initial part of weeks, you start with your own paper. You try to make it up, try to get the base done. But here's where networking and here's where your teaching comes into play. By the end of my 6 months, I was a co-author in over half a dozen of papers already, out of which there were multiple abstracts sent into esteemed conferences all over the world. And the way you get it is through your own skill and it's through your own commitment and dedication. You connect with different GRSP batches. This is exactly what GRSP entails. This is not just my batch. I'm not here for just 10 people. This Dr. Kashyap and Dr. Faisal, who's also a GRSP mentor, they are going to connect us with multiple batches across all this. I think I have batch 6, so there are like 5 batches before me, 2 batches after me. I could connect with multiple people. I could connect with them, join in their projects, get their help. I could connect with projects that guest lecturers came for. So the more I put in, I realized the more projects I would get out of it. Obviously, time commitment is an issue. You have to be practical, but there is no end. For me, I wouldn't like to put on a number, but I would like to say it depends exactly on your ability. There is no end. The more you help people, the more you learn from their projects, and at the end, the better you are prepared to lead your own project. And once you're prepared to lead your own projects, then the number doesn't count. Then it's all upon you. How good you network, what are your leadership skills, then it's a smooth sailing after that.
Very well said, Smitesh. I would like to say that so there are a lot of factors that come into how many projects you can author. Like if someone is already preparing for their exams, they would not take on much work for themselves, or they might even not be able to help someone else to get their work done. So that is also one of the reasons that you should join not within the 2 3 months of your exams, because then you won't be able to help, they won't be able to take help you in your project because you would be busy. Second thing I would say is, it is there are so many opportunities that it is just take, grab whatever you want, you can do. It is absolutely up to you what you want to do and how many projects you want to co-author, how many people you want to learn with from, what kind of projects you do. If it is a big survey, then there are multiple abstracts coming out of it. You send it to different conferences. There are international conferences. There are annual congress of GRRSP. That was amazing. So we sent abstracts to that. We had presentations for it. So it is a whole bunch of things that you do in 6 months. It's not just research, it's everything. And you have a lot of fun.
And then different types, if we can answer, is that you get a chance to work on case reports. You bring in book chapters, review articles, systematic review, meta-analysis, social media based papers, any past publications. If you wrote a thesis, masters, or anything else for that matter in a PhD, dental school, and things, you can publish all those things through us as well. And it's a pretty good plug that now GRSP has a channel through Curious, and then some of those publications can go through on a GRSP GRRSP discounted rates on the Curious as well. But we prefer people to submit to their specialty specific journals too. So
All right, Dr. Kashyap, the next question is actually the cherry on the cake. Will GRRSP prepare us for presenting our paper, or maybe our poster, or maybe our oral presentation in international conferences across the world?
that's a good question, Smitesh. Yes, there are multiple opportunities, and you both have nailed those opportunities as well. But to reiterate that for the audience and newcomers who are watching it to make up their mind, every week when you get to come to lectures or project discussion, that's your training starts there. You get to talk about your project in a way in a short amount of period of time, from title to what you're doing and what progress you made. That is your day after day practice right there. Two, we'll bring the opportunities for you to participate into our GRSP's best presentation, annual congress, and then national meetings and international meetings for that matter. That is part of submission, and then you do. Then, when the paste abstract got accepted, no matter where you are in your journey, we will have sessions where you prepare your presentations, PDF, presentation posters with our help and your input, and then you can pre-practice before you go and practice go and do it anywhere, either on Zoom or you do it on in person as well. Congratulations to both of you. You both will be presenting in a major critical care meeting in Chest in Hawaii in upcoming months at the time of recording this video, and then in ID Week in Boston and Washington, D.C. as well. So those are the opportunities. These are, don't take them lightly when somebody who's not done research before and within 6 month period, now they have accepted abstracts in multiple national conferences and multiple publications, either in published already on PubMed or in process as well. So this is a whole package that you are not just paying a fee to get to publish something. You're paying a fees to learn how to do research and publish it, but get the public speaking, networking, and background mentoring on ERA's application, CVs, and everything else as well. So it's a complete package, and that makes it another uniqueness about this program. Let me ask a few questions to you guys, or at least one concluding question as well. So you have gone through this program. You would be equally skeptical before joining in, and rightly so. And then now you both are alumni of GRSP as well. So starting from Priyal, what has been the highlight of your experience with GRSP? What made it what made an impact of this program in your eyes? And then same question to you, Smitesh, briefly.
Thank you, Dr. Kashyap. I think the highlight of GRSP is getting to know these wonderful mentors, because you not only just mentor on research, you also mentor on any and every difficulty that we face. It I feel extremely comfortable talking to you about any of the USMLE questions, or if I'm facing any difficulty in anywhere else, I know that I can rely on you at any given point of time. So that is, I think, a very big support, especially for international medical graduates who are already so nervous and so they don't know what is the right way ahead, and you guide wonderfully, and I am very, very, very grateful for that. Second thing is meeting and making friends from all over the world. I think you learn a lot from them, from their journey, and it shows not only in your work, it also shows in your personality, and you become a different person after 6 months of the RSP. That is for sure. So I think that is the best thing.
Thank you, Smitesh. And just to add a point to you, Priyal, I always say to people, give yourself 6 months for any skills you want to develop on. And this is we ask people to commit their 6 months of their life with the GRSP, and then we hope that they become a different person for good reasons. And so you nailed it by saying some of those things, Smitesh. I don't know if anything else is left to say but I'm sure you have some unique perspective.
Yes, obviously, I would like to add a couple more points. I think Dr. Priyal Mehta summed it up perfectly. But what I'd like to say is just shed some light on my journey. Was I skeptical before joining GRRSP? Of course. I was a research novice. I had zero projects or even zero knowledge about research before joining GRRSP. I was scared because all I saw were people publishing left, right, and center in USMLE. And I did not even know where to begin, how to stand. I had no platform to stand on. And right now, as you mentioned, I'm going to present my systematic review at Chess 2023 in Hawaii, which is one of the most prestigious critical care conferences. So the journey from the start of GRRSP to the end has been the highlight for me. This is one part. The second part I would like to say is, as I said, networking. GRSP networks us. The alumni are already international medical graduates who have matched into US programs. Who better to guide us? Who better to prep us about interview skills? Who better to tell us what next step to do than non-US IMGs who have already matched into programs? They are our alumni now. They are wonderful people. We can connect with them anytime we want. And I think these two have been the highlights for me. These two are skills that I have not found in any other programs. I would like to also mention this is like one question how this program is different from others. It is not a kind of program where you just do your own paper and you get co-authorships for other paper. You develop your skills. And I think when you're capable of writing your own paper and working on others' paper is, I think, when that you can actually say that this GRRSP has helped through this journey and through this process.
Oh, well, thank you for being such a great brand ambassador for GRSP as an alumni. I would agree that now you guys have seen those benefits. I'm hoping that you guys are signing up now to help the people coming after you uh, in GRSP or otherwise as a nice human gesture. So that is something. So that's where you can pay it forward. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Oh, go ahead, Priyal. You want to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to say that the one thing that I have learned from not only you, but all the mentors and all the alumni before us is that they believe in pulling the other person up. Help is always given at GRRSP. Whether you ask it or not, help is always given at GRRSP. So I would like to say that don't hesitate, ask, and you will get it. And that is something very wonderful because you don't see that often that people are actually ready to support you. They literally pull you up, they literally tell you, okay, this is how you do it. And that is wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Kashyap, for this.
So I think that should become our new logo. Help is always given at GRRSP. But maybe new batch may not agree with that because as we become busy, and then with limited people, then sometime they might not feel that way. But good to know that that's a feeling you have. I really want to thank you for putting together these questions and then coming together and answering some of those questions from your own experience. You have been a great brand ambassador. You have been a great scholar. I'm wishing you all the best. We will follow your careers very, very closely. You're not going anywhere. So I'm hoping to meet you soon at the national conference, as well as during your rotations or wherever our path cross, if you're on East Coast or anywhere else for that matter.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Kashyap. Thank you so much for having us here. It was great. I really hope this video helps everyone, every non-US IMG understand what
All the
GRRSP is.
best, everyone.
And
All the
yes,
best. You will kill it with GRSP. Don't worry.
Thank you so much. Now go and be famous.